So the next slide. One of the unique things that we are going to have and what we have in our content is linking theory with practicality. When you think about these companies, by the time we are done, you're going to think about them differently. You're going to be saying that, but yes, now when you tell me about what made Uber such a global success, what made Apple a global success, I thought they just made nice phones. I thought Uber was just a convenient kind of what app, and that's why I use it. When I think about Airbnb, you will then get to learn about a concept called ecosystem, business ecosystem, where now we're going to unpack how this organization crafts strategies around partnering with other participants in in an ecosystem in order to drive their own success. To say that we are a technology company as Uber, and what are we going to do? We have to find someone who has to provide the equipment, which is the vehicle. We have to comply with legislation. We have to create incentives that incentivizes the driver, and we have to give what do you call it, a service to our customer that gets to meet their need. But what is their need? Digitization is the one that keeps them focused to say, when you approach a customer from a digitization perspective, they're dealing with strangers. So what kind of assurance do I need to give them? And that understanding and the power of how these companies have used and embraced digital strategies to create multinational successful companies are the kind of things that we're going to unpack in what we call E3, enterprise management, strategic management. That's what we're going to be thinking about. So when you look at the world around you, you will realize that the people you were thinking are competing with each other, they are simply in a business ecosystem. It was quite phenomenal for me to discover some other time that actually the screens that what the screens that Apple used to use. They were supplied by a company owned by Samsung. And I was like, but wait, there I am saying that this is the best screen ever. It's not better than Samsung. But I was like, but the way these guys look at it, they're saying that no, if this guy is the best, I should not fight him as if this is a personal vendetta, but I should find a way to benefit and add this to my ecosystem. That yes, some used to say that China, there are no quality products from there, and you find that actually this iPhone that you so much love, it's actually manufactured in China and it's developed or designed in California by Apple. And then you realize that actually the world is a little bit more complex. Maybe the way that I'm thinking about creating even my long-term strategy, maybe the way that even these professional bodies used to look at each other and say, no, CA is a competition to me, CIMA is a competition. It's not the right way to think about long-term strategies. And that's what we get to unpack right there. Then we've got the likes of Sasol, Tesla, who have been on the news for not so good reasons this year. As you will have seen, Sasol share and Tesla share, they've lost significant value over the last, call it 6 months. And we need to understand what is happening in those companies. Are we able to enter into rooms and have insightful conversations about those things? Are we able to show our understanding of risks in whatever we are doing and the world around us, and how that interacts with financial strategies and how investors perceive this particular company? Did this company suddenly stopped making what? Making good products? And in some cases, no, it's not. They are just fundamental things around how some of the key decisions around stakeholder sustainability are being managed and perceived such that then it affects their share price performance. We have the likes of NVIDIA, which is which is one of the leading companies when it comes to developing AI chips. This company, in a matter of, I think, 24 months, its share price or market value increased by more than $1 trillion. And you're like, wait, what did they see? How did they make sure they fit themselves in this complex environment to be able to create so much value over a little period of time? So these kind of experiences, this kind of circumstances, we get to unpack them even more. Then we move more closely to home, where now we've got the likes of Everelectric Company, which is a sustainable and has introduced what they call EV as a service, electronic vehicles as a service. And you've got FirstRand now that is in the middle of a UK litigation that they've said that if it goes either way, the kind of cash that they will be obliged to pay is going to be so significant. And we've got the likes of healthcare, which also has really narrowed their international exposure. They've sold in a matter of 24 months 2 of their assets, and how they have the strategic rationale for selling those assets, what they did with the money. It's such a very a good story to just share and talk about, and you'll get to see it when we talk about what we call the interrelatedness of financial decision. So when we talk about the strategic level and the kind of things that you should be expecting as a qualified chartered accountant, are some of the stories or some of the concepts behind here. But how do we then deliver that? What is the idea or the core qualification competencies that we are interested in?